Hello, my name is Tulio Duarte. Thank you for the initiative of looking for improvement and innovation. So the topic we are going to discuss today is the three challenges of the 4.0 industry. I am a partner at a company that works with operating excellence. We work with improvement of production control, and quality control. I am the founder of Vertical Manufatura of Acati. This is a group that gathers companies that are focused on the 4.0 industry. I also participate in other organizations that work with the 4.0 industry. I am a member of the consulting chamber of the 4.0 industry in government, and for 24 years I've been working with solutions for the quality control and production processes. My solutions are in 10 countries as well as Brazil. And the topic that we are going to discuss today is really interesting. It's a topic that all the industries in the world are going to have to focus on, which is the 4.0 industry. Let's talk about the three challenges, but first let's understand a very important concept. What triggered this concept? Well, this concept was triggered by the necessity to increase the level of competition, considering the new elements in the world, especially technology and connection. So Germany, which is the cradle of the 4.0 industry, began to feel, I won't say threatened, but they became concerned about their industry. And they started to discuss how they could remain competitive in a global world to sell in Egypt, Brazil, United States, in so many different markets, and still remaining competitive and raising the bar of the competition, especially with the Asian world, particularly China. So that's what triggered. That's what made Germany think about a new production process. This is what we call the 4.0 industry. In terms of competition, this is what they thought. Well, we have to do it better. So the concept of the 4.0 industry is about improving the production process, but that happened in all the other industrial revolutions, in the first, second, third, and fourth one, which is the one we are going through right now. So what is the difference between the concept of improving the production process to what you already do? Well, the 4.0 model is what we call an information-driven process. It's about extracting the information from the production process and taking this information to decision makers so they can make quicker decisions, whether they are people, whether they are robots, a cyber-physical system, systems that interact with production links or machinery. So in the 4.0 model, this is why we talk so much about digitalizing factories or digitalizing the production process. And this is the first leg or the first axis that an industry has to work on. This is where they start when they have to change into a 4.0 model. So usually we talk about predictive maintenance, control systems, quality control, process control, monitoring of energy consumption, traceability systems, bringing systems or products from the inventory when you know there's going to be a shortage on the line. So these are all typical solutions and the concept of the 4.0 industry. So in this thing, this is what all the industries are doing. This is where the industries are focusing nowadays. But this axis is just one of the axes that has to be worked on. Usually that's the responsibility of the industrial director or the industrial leadership. And every sector that wants to trail its path towards the 4.0 industry starts in that direction. But you have to be really careful because this is not the only axis to be worked on. This is the first of three. I'm going to give you some examples just to make it clear. For example, a solution of my company. What is the difference between a 4.0 solution to a previous solution? First thing is that it has to be adapted for any kind of production process, including medium and small-sized industries. So for that much, IoT is super important. So basically, you have to have sensors in the equipment, you have to shoot some information to the platform processes the information and delivers it to the device on real time, and then that actionates other systems. The other axis, which is really important, is the accelerated production process for products, and this is where people don't see the size of the journey. Usually that stays with the innovation department, which today is called that, but it's also R&D. And in the 4.0 model, innovating is something all companies do, but to innovate in an accelerated and scalable way, that's the big kicker for the 4.0 industry. So you have to create an innovation model. So while your competitor is in version A, you are working on B. When they are on B, you are working on C. So your product reaches the shelf and the end consumer in a better way and quicker than your competitors. This is usually not up to the commercial director. This is up to other directors like innovation, and this is the second pillar. So you produce faster in the first axis, and you make a better product, and your product reaches the consumers before your competitors. I'm going to play you a short clip just to give you that idea. What she's doing, she's working on the coffee machine, and someone is putting some milk on the coffee and is putting in the machine. So what does that coffee machine has that is different? What can a coffee machine gain? Well, they are going to do a customization. They are going to personalize that coffee, and they are going to do that with what people call 3D printing, but it's actually adding some materials in something. So basically they adapted a printing model for a coffee shop, and then customers get a personalized coffee. And the question is always this: are you going to drink a coffee where you get a common coffee or a customized coffee? If you are the coffee shop owner, the salesperson tells you that this coffee maker costs 1,000, and the other one, this one, is 1,200, but it customizes your coffee, and you can sell your coffee instead of $4 for $5. So which product would you choose? Would you choose the common coffee maker or the one that customizes your coffee? So that's the second axis, and the third axis is the new business models. This is what we call smart products. And this axis has to be worked on, usually considering the strategy of the company, of the business, by the business leaders. And I think that's a way heavy load for an industrial director, for example, because it has to do with changing the product in a way that you can extract or add something to the product. You can add some service or some type of value that can generate a recurring gain besides the product's life shelf. And that includes discussions with the commercial side, the innovation side, and it has to trigger a change in the mindset. This is the slide, this is the $1 million slide, because a lot of companies are focusing on the first axis, which is to have operating excellence with 4.0 solutions at the end of the day. But just like I said before, this is just one of the axes. Accelerating products is the second one, and changing the business model is the most difficult one, because you have to discuss with so many people in the business. And at this point, smaller businesses are more agile. I'll give you some examples just so you have clear what are the new models here. So common products that apparently couldn't be smart products, but companies are already migrating to smart products, like a pillow that measures your quality of sleep. Why is this important? Because a lot of people have sleep disturbances. They would like to see the level or the quality of sleep in the next day so they can schedule their week. If they have an important meeting, how tired are they, or clothes that help you optimize your physical performance during exercise, or socks that can measure your heartbeat, for example. If you are a first-time parent, you might have woken up in the middle of the night to check your baby to see if your baby is well. This is something that we do, right? And today there is a solution for that. There is a sock that costs like $10, but you can pay an extra, maybe $1 extra per month, to have all the information to know if your baby is okay, if your baby is doing good, and you don't have to be as concerned. You can even get an alarm set up on your phone. So it's about creating smart products that enable you to extract new ways of monetizing those products. And all the business areas, all products can migrate to that. Every company can do this. I'm just giving you an example here. This is a packaging company that created a package which is based on paper mixed with a technology that lets physicians know if the person is taking the medication in the right frequency and in the right amount. Where does that challenge come from? That challenge was actually posed because around $78 billion it's actually 178 billion euros, pardon me. That number is the loss that happens in the industry because people don't take the right medication at the right time. So it's a billion-euro problem, pardon me. And there is a way of packages to help that. So packages have their value. I mean, it's possible to embed the technology here, and it's possible to customize and personalize it for each customer. So you can work on the new business models, and you can add more value, or you can even monetize the product in a different way. So that's the concept of the 4.0 industry, that every company is going to have to mind. You have to work on the axis of the production process improvement, you have to develop on accelerating products, and you have to work on new business models. So in other words, you have to find a way of monetizing or offering products to customers in a way that is irresistible. Most companies, you know, what I say is that a lot of companies focus on the first axis, and to migrate to the 4.0 industry, you have to undertake a journey. It's not a specific action. This is something that starts with improving the production process. It involves those that are in the factories, first and foremost, because those are the quick wins. But it's important to keep in mind that the complete journey has to be planned out, and it has to be developed inside the business. And it's not only the responsibility of the production team or the innovation team. It's really the responsibility of all the business, every department, because all of them are going to be affected, and they are going to have to produce in this new way. We're going to need people that are qualified to work in this new model. The commercial team is going to think of different ways to stay competitive and to extract new values, monetizing on a different way, and to mobilize those qualities that are probably going to be fostered by the innovation team and the commercial team, and especially the factory team in their production processes and products. So that's the concept of the 4.0 industry that we develop, and that's what we discuss in our group in Akati. And this is a concept that I really congratulate the industry for fostering and developing. And I invite all of you to take a look at our content, and I thank you very much for the opportunity of being here, conveying this message to you folks about the 4.0 industry and the 3 axes that is what every industry in the world are going to have to mind if they don't want to be left behind. So good luck, have a great session, and see you at some point.